I'd like to call the Finance and Administration Committee of March 26, 2018 to order. The Mayor and Councillor Thompson both signed their regrets this evening. Are there any declarations of interest? Okay, I see none. Do either Councillor Brunet or Councillor Majima want to change the order of the business detailed in tonight's agenda? No, you're good? Okay. There are no delegations scheduled for this evening. There are no items of correspondence this evening. So the first report is TR 1801, Mileage Reimbursement Policy. Are there any questions from committee members regarding this report of the 1 cent increase? I see none. So, got a motion moved by Councillor Brunet, seconded by Councillor Majima. The report TR 1801 regarding the mileage reimbursement policy be received as information, and that Appendix A, mileage reimbursement policy number FN 2009-01 be approved as amended. All those in favor? And that is carried. Our second report this evening, another housekeeping one, but again is important, and I saw Councillor Njima putting it on her WordPress last night, is with respect to the TR 1802, the 2019 budget schedule. Are there any questions from committee members regarding this report? I see none. Motion moved by Councillor Njima, seconded by Councillor Brunet. The report TR 1802 regarding the 2019 budget schedule be received as information, and that Appendix A, Town of Lincoln 2019 budget schedule be approved. All those in favor? And that is carried. Okay. Third report. Okay, so, okay. That's why Julie wanted me to go with that. Okay. I had fire stuff up. But, so TR 1804 is the procurement policy bylaw. Any questions from committee regarding this? Councillor Brunet.
Thank you, Chair Patriva. Not really a question, just a comment. When I first read this, I was a little surprised to see it coming up now in light of the fact that we've had discussions during budget about a procurement officer. But I certainly respect the fact that staff is making sure that we're aligned with other municipalities throughout the Golden Horseshoe, and that we want to have our procurement officer hit the ground running. So I respect the work that staff has done, and I accept the report. Thank you.
We've got a motion moved by Councillor Brunet and seconded by Councillor Njima. The report TR 1804 regarding the procurement policy bylaw be received as information, and that the purchasing bylaw 2006-55 as amended be revoked and replaced with the procurement policy bylaw 2018 XX. All those in favor? Thank you. Our fifth report, FD 1801, fire service pumper rescue truck purchase.
You missed
I wanted to miss that on purpose. Again, I'm going by my old agenda, which we went over. So,
That's Julie.
Julie. Okay. So, TR 1805, 2017 Council remuneration. I am the top person on this list. But as I know, for the first time in 15 years, and I did state earlier that I think it's excellent value for the money spent. So, any questions from committee members? No, I see none. I'll bring my hard helmet for Monday night. That report TR 1805, 2017 council remuneration and expenses for members of council be received as information. All those in favor? Excellent, that is carried. Julie, I don't think I checked the last. Did I check it? Okay, sorry. Oh. Okay. So, that was relatively painless. FD 1801, Fire Service Pumper Rescue Truck Purchase. Any questions from committee members regarding this report? And I found it quite interesting to follow the discussion on Twitter around the Thorold Fire Department trying to replace an aerial truck that's 30 years old or bordering on that, where and the fight and so I just the business case that Chief and Deputy Chief you guys bring forward and how it's laid out and how we set aside money for vehicles, I mean, keeps us in good stead that we don't have those fights and we don't cut things that are essential to the protection of the citizens of the municipality. So any questions regarding FD 1801? I see none. So moved by Councillor Brûnet, seconded by Councillor Renchima, that report FD 1801 regarding the purchase of a new pumper rescue truck for the fire service be received, and that staff be directed to accept a proposal from Safe Tech Emergency Vehicles to supply and deliver one new 2019 SMEAL pumper rescue truck at a price of $631,200 excluding tax. All those in favor? And that is carried. Our second report from the fire services is a proposed new regulation governing the fire service, FD 1802. Any questions from committee with respect to this report? I see none. So moved by Councillor Renchima, seconded by Councillor Brûnet, that report FD 1802 regarding proposed new provincial regulations governing the fire service be received. All those in favor? And that is carried. FD 1803, fire route bylaw amendment, and this is a housekeeping, but an important housekeeping report to bring one of those new areas online that we don't presently have a bylaw, which could impact getting to the scene if anything ever happened. So any questions from committee members with respect to this report? Councillor Brûnet.
Thank you, Chair Patriva. Through you to the chief. So I understand, this is an important bylaw amendment, but as soon as some of the signs went up in some of the areas like Fielding Estate Winery, there was some concerns about the event that they have in terms of the June event for Graze the Bench. So I understand, that those roads are very narrow and we have to be very cognizant of getting emergency vehicles in there. But there is a concern from those wineries and those people. So I just don't want to see that bylaw all of a sudden starts flexing their muscles on that weekend for the wrong reason. I understand why this amendment is being put in place, but that event has been going successfully for a number of years. So there are some concerns. So maybe through you to the chief, just a comment on that.
Thank you. Through you, Mr. Chair, to the councillor's question. A couple of issues here. Number one, this particular bylaw deals with something that's already been agreed to in their site plan agreement, and the signs are already up. We just have no way of enforcing it at the present time, so it is, as the chair says, more of a housekeeping item. Your comments with respect to some of the roadways and how they impact some special events is well taken. I know for the Thanksgiving weekend and some of the other major events, we actually sit down and, come up with a game plan for those to just make sure that those events can go off safely and without, posing an undue risk. And, any special event like that would certainly be a candidate for sitting down and just making sure we have steps in place. Because, as you say, those roads are very, very narrow, and you get cars parking on them, and we simply can't get up the road. So, but your point is well taken. Thank you.
Good question, Chief. Am I missing something somewhere? I thought this bylaw was dealing with the condominium complex on DeSantis Drive and the apartment complex at Adelheim. Just those two. So is there now signs going up to reflect other fire routes that maybe haven't been up in the past? Is that what Councillor Bernay is talking about?
To you, Mr. Chair, this particular bylaw is only those two locations. Yeah. I think, if I might think, that was just more of a general comment rather than a question to this.
Oh, right. Because, yes.
Yes.
Correct, because signs that went up there, about 2 months ago?
Could have been. Yeah, I'm not sure the exact timing. And through you, Mr. Chair, that was as a result of a bylaw amendment, much like this that we did late last year. Yeah.
Okay. So we've got a motion moved by Councillor Bernay, seconded by Councillor Renchima, that report FD 1803 regarding amendments to the fire rescue route bylaw be received, and that a bylaw to amend bylaw number 2107-33, being a bylaw to designate fire routes on certain lands and properties in the town of Lincoln, be presented to council for approval. All those in favor? And that is carried. And last but certainly not least, and for anyone, and I think we all were there at the Firefighter for a Day, the self-contained breathing apparatuses, and we all had the pleasure of doing that and going in. And then when we had the discussion with the chief and the firefighters there that day, found out that on the calls where we have the mutual aid and that our containers or canisters weren't fillable with the others because they were different. So this is bringing in those new canisters, so we'll be able to work with the other fire departments if they're on scene, be able to fill them right there, and firefighters will be able to continue tackling the fire without any interruption. And these are a bigger canister too, Chief, are they not?
Yes, these are 45-minute duration bottles. The other ones are 30-minute.
And for any of us that were breathing hard,
the time limit is more of a guideline than a...
Okay, so FD 1804, Fire Department self-contained breathing apparatus purchase, phase number 2. Moved by Councillor Renchima, seconded by Councillor Bernay. The report FD 1804 regarding the purchase of self-contained breathing apparatus be received, and that staff be directed to complete phase 2 of the self-contained breathing apparatus replacement with the necessary equipment from AJ Stone Company Limited at a cost of $217,178, excluding tax. All those in favor? That is carried. All motions from this evening's meeting were presented to council for final approval at its meeting of April 3rd, 2018. Are there any councillor inquiries or inquiries? If you got to think that hard, no, they're not there. Are there any notices of motion? Are there any announcements? There's no closed session items for this evening's agenda, so there being no further business, I call the meeting adjourned.